Hello and welcome to another video here at Hobbies and Happiness. My name's Dan.
I'm Jim, and today we're being infested with card spoilers.
Nice. Love it. I love it, Jim. All right, so this is week number 2, our spoiler recap of the week number 2 of Alpha Clashgrounds spoilers. It's spoiler season. We're loving it, and we got a full plate to go over for you.
Yes.
So let's get right into it. But before we do that, if you guys like this type of content, don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those bell notifications so you can be notified when we release more Alpha Clash content in the future. We got a few weeks left of spoiler season for Alpha Clash, Clashgrounds, and man, we're coming in hot. Yeah, we're coming in hot. We got a great week to go over, and so with that, let's jump right in. Okay. So as we jump in, let's first mention our spoilers. So this week we were blessed to talk about Downtown Chicago and the mystery item, which, speaking of, that was a beautiful segue into that video, Jim. If you haven't seen it, go check out our spoiler video. We kind of give you all of our thoughts, so we won't waste time going over that again. Again, don't forget, check that video. We're gonna post that right up here for you. So another beautiful Clashground, and you know, one of our fans, our biggest fan, said that Downtown Chicago is like a meta, very meta, super meta call that we got that card. So all right, well, with that out of the way, let's get into the spoilers. So the first two that we have come to us courtesy of Dalen Mack. You can follow him on Twitter at Dalen Mack. And again, don't forget, guys, down in the description we will leave links to all of these original spoilers so you can go check out these creators as well. So again, Dalen Mack spoiled for us another new contender. It is Pestilence, Prince of Plagues. I know Jim's a fan of this one. Yeah. So Pestilence is a 20 health contender. A 20 health contender. Interesting. He's got a 0-1 stat line, so 0 attack, 1 defense. He is a Pestilence Plagueholm Harbinger. We got another Harbinger here. And his 20 health ability reads, when a clash card an opponent controls is defeated during a primary phase, you may engage this card. If you do, draw a card. And then his second ability, which kicks in when he is at 12 or lower health, reads, once per turn during your primary phase, you may discard 1 or more cards from your hand. If you do, target clash card gets -X until end of turn, where X is equal to the number of cards discarded this way, +1. Jim, what are your initial thoughts on Pestilence here?
Well, I love this defense point on the card.
Yeah.
You know, I remember talking to Dan. I'm like, you know what? I would love to see defense on these contenders. Let's make it happen. And here it is.
There we go.
The 20 life, you know, is really small comparison to the 30.
Right.
But they have 1 defense.
Right, exactly. So they're soaking up. How much damage are they soaking up?
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be a lot.
How many times do they get attacked? That's how many times.
Right.
But also for this, to be able to just draw a card is really, really nice when you're looking to already play like a defensive game and you just accrue that value over time. And it's just value upon value, it seems, with this guy.
Yeah, so it is, when a clash card, I'm reading this again for myself, right? When a clash card an opponent controls is defeated during a primary phase, you may engage this card. So if you don't get it on your turn, you could get it on your opponent's turn as well. So you do have to engage them, but again, you're not attacking with Pestilence, right? So you're not going to be engaging him for really anything else, right? So I do like that. Now, Jim, what does that 12 ability remind you of? That 12.
Why you got to do this to me, Dan? I didn't want to talk about it. There's a reason I didn't say nothing about it. Okay,
I know.
There's a reason.
I know. But having it stapled to a contender is very different than a clash card.
This is going to kill a lot of 2 defense creatures.
Yeah,
a lot.
And if you're drawing a lot of cards, and guys, for those of you who don't know, that's 12 or less ability is basically like Kilimanjaro on a contender. And you know how much Jim loved Kilimanjaro. We didn't like Kilimanjaro as a card.
I even brought it up at Gen Con. I'm like, guys, what is this card, man?
We ran into Ridge and Josh at Gen Con. What did he say?
I don't even remember. He's like, there's got to be bad cards for there to be good cards.
That's
right?
true.
That's
That
not
is
what he
true.
said, but that's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
So anyway, Pestilence Prince. I can't wait, guys. I can't wait to see your Pestilence Prince of Plagues build. There's going to be some really sweet ones. So you're going to be drawing a lot of cards and maybe discarding them, maybe to that second ability. So, all right, with that out of the way, we're going to talk about Dalen's second card. It is Infestation. It's another Clash buff. It is a 1 cost with 1 required green resource Clash buff. Okay, so it is an action, and it reads, you may only play this card if your contender is a green Harbinger. So currently, you can only play this if you're running a Pestilence build.
Yep.
Okay, and then it reads, target contender or Clash card you control gets +3/+0 until end of turn, then target opponent discards a card. Jim, what's your initial thoughts on Infestation?
Well, this +3 attack is kind of ginormous for 1 cost.
Yeah.
You know, Clash buff, so you're playing at instant speed, right?
Yeah.
And then to be able to force your opponent to discard 1 card it's nice, and it makes sense for if you're trying to infect them with stuff and kind of deteriorate them over time.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for Pestilence. But this card itself is just going to be forces your opponent to have to utilize a lot of cards against you, or they're going to eat a lot of damage. If you have any way to restand your units, that's a lot coming in.
So let's read this here. Target gets and it is until end of turn.
Yeah.
So it is until. Oh goodness gracious.
Yeah.
I can't. Okay, one of my favorite things to do is play Sonora Awaken Breaker. So, oh man, so doing Infestation instead of the Clash buffs from set 1. Wow, that's
gonna be bigger.
That's gonna be a whole lot bigger, guys. So you swing in with a 1-drop, you Clash buff the 1-drop, then you drop Sonora Awaken Breaker, and then you're able to restand that 1-drop, and then you can swing in again with it. Ooh,
Yeah, it's powerful.
That is pretty crazy, and it's hand hate, right? So and it's also hand hate. So. Yeah. There's that is very powerful. I'm really loving the direction, the design direction we're seeing with these Clash buffs in set number 2. All right, so that's Infestation. Okay, the next one that we have comes to us courtesy of the art director himself, Wade King. You can follow him on Instagram at Art of Wade King. All right, and the card is Death the Relentless. So Death the Relentless is a 3 cost, 2 required black resources for a 2/3 Death Clash card. Death is from Bardega and has the Harbinger affiliation. Another Harbinger is a rare card, and then has the ability to trigger defeat. Search your deck for a card with the same name as this card and reveal it. Put that card into your hand, then shuffle your deck. And then it also reads, you may reduce the resource cost to play this card by 1 black for each Death the Relentless in your Oblivion. Jim, what do you think about Death the Relentless here?
This card is going to deck thin. It's going to be cheaper to play over time. And it seems just like the amount of value you're going to get off of this over the course of the game is just really decent.
Yeah.
The 3 defense is pretty nice. The 2 attack, it's not really too crazy, but there's a lot of times where you have 2 defense creatures, and this can kind of just take care of them. Or later in the game, it's going to die. You're going to go search for another one and be able to defend with it on your following turn. So it's in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a thing called recruiters, where when they die, they are able to search for another card, pretty much always itself, to just get you that value of deck thinning, have card advantage as well. So this card is overall really good.
The moment you find one of these is going to be great, right? Because the moment you play it, it costs 3. Okay, when it dies, again, assuming that trigger defeat, trigger tag triggers, right? Then the next one it costs 2. Then again, you do it again. Next one costs 1, and then the last one costs 0.
Does it go down to 0 because it gets rid of the black pips? So minimum is 1?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. It might go down to 1. We'll have to
Card rolling.
Judge. Willie, Ridge, David, let us know. That's a good question. That's a very good question. But yeah, so I mean, worst case, it's going to be one. Worst case, it's 1.
Yes.
A 1 cost 2, 3. Sign me up.
That's gonna deck thin you.
Sign me up, dude. Wow. So yeah, that's Death the Relentless. Okay. And then the next 2 that we have come to us, courtesy of our friend DM Armada. Ooh. Again, you can follow him on Twitter at Armada_DM, and you can also find him on YouTube at DM Armada. We'll be sure to link this video in the description as well. So go ahead and check that out. He revealed to us another contender, another Harbinger contender. It is Death Chaos Bringer. Yes. So Death Chaos Bringer, a black contender, 30 health, 1/0 stat line. Death is from Bardega, and her 30 ability, her 30 health ability reads: when a Death Clash card you control is defeated or sent to Oblivion, you may engage this card. If you do, draw a card. Then up to 1 target Clash card you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. And then her second ability kicks in at 10 or lower health, reads: once per turn during your primary phase, you may put target black Clash card with an initial resource cost of 2 or less from your Oblivion into play. At the end of your turn, banish that card. All right, Jim, what do you think about this one?
All right, so we just went over that last Death card.
Relentless, yep.
So when that card's defeated, you can engage this to draw a card, and the other one's going to get you another Death the Relentless. So that's, I mean, that's two cards right there. One's deck thinning. Do you get to, do you deck thin first and then draw this?
I believe you would choose. I believe you would get to choose the triggers.
Deck thin first.
Yeah.
Then draw the card.
Correct. Do that first.
Yeah.
Yep.
This card is another really cool one.
Yeah.
It's you know, you're gonna be able to play Death Tribal.
Yep.
Or have a good enough amount of Death cards to be able to benefit off of this.
Right.
This is just value on a stick.
100%. 100%.
I love it.
What do you think? What do you think about the second ability?
The second part, there's so for 2 or less Clash cards, I don't really, or for black, I don't really. Is anything jumping out at me? I don't even know what's jumping out at me.
We'd have to look. We'd have to look. I mean, right now, it really all depends on what the pool's what the pool of cards is gonna be. Again, this is just something that's gonna get better over time.
Moxie already has things that are ETB draw cards. So I mean, this is just gonna be able to draw you another card on top of it.
You could do that,
and that's for free.
Moxie Prime, the 1-drop Moxie card. I think it's Moxie Ready to Hunt. I can't remember. I'd have to double check. But it is one cost. Yeah. It's a 1 cost, 1/1 trigger, enter, draw a card. Perfect.
That's good enough.
I mean, that is good enough. That's perfect.
Great.
I don't care that she's gone right at the end of the turn. Right, she did her thing.
Swing it into the contender.
Correct.
It's gonna die anyway. It doesn't matter.
Correct. It doesn't. I feel like so far this contender is just value.
Oh yeah,
has value written all over her. Written all over her.
I love that she's Death and she's bringing back stuff from the dead.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
she's like, you're not finished.
Yeah, I still need you. I still need you for a job. I got a job for you. Yeah, so that's Death Chaos Bringer. Again, a fabulous art piece by Wade King, and then the second one, spoiled by Steven, is Restoration. It's another Clash buff, a 1 cost, black Clash buff, 1 required black resource. Reads: you may only play this contender. You may only play this card if your contender is black. Okay, so like with Infestation, it was specifically a green Harbinger. This one is any black contender. Okay, and then it reads: target contender or Clash card you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Then you may put a Clash card with initial resource cost of 1 or less from any Oblivion into your Clash zone engaged.
Wow.
Okay, Jim.
Wow.
Can you? There's this 1 cost. I don't know. Torque card.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, if you can you imagine stealing that from your opponents?
I mean, that's a pretty good card to steal.
That's a pretty good card to steal. So what do you think about Restoration, Jim?
All right. So to give target card +1/+1, pretty good for 1 cost. Then to be able, a lot of the times with these cards, you're either drawing a card or having your opponent discard a card.
Right.
This is the exact same value, but it's not a mystery card that you're getting.
Yeah.
It's I mean, your opponent's most likely going to be playing good 1-drops. You're going to be playing good
Right,
1-drops in the early stages. And even if this is just a get back a 1-drop that draws you a card, well, now this is even better than those other ones because it's getting you the body on board.
Right.
And then you're still drawing on top of it.
Right.
This, I love this card.
Yeah.
This card's good.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you're playing black-red and then you're able to get Torque the Uncontrollable, like yourself, or again, like Torque the Uncontrollable, like that deck is pretty heavy in the competitive meta. Okay, and so this card to be able to get back your own or just take your opponent's, I mean, it's both. I feel like this card both buffs current strategies, but also is a tech card against those strategies as well. Like, oh, you're playing Torque. Okay, I'll take care of it, and now it's mine. Okay. Oh, you want to do Here Comes the Boom? Okay, I have a body who can stick around. He'll survive. Yours gets buffed, so does mine. Let's go. So I really like Restoration. Again, the piece by Kyle Petchak is great as well. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, the next 3 cards come to us courtesy of our friends Logan and Charmer over at the Clashground podcast. Again, we'll be sure to link the tweet as well as the episode, so you guys can go check that out. But the first one, let's talk about the really big one. Okay, it's the Contender. It's Haven, Biding Time. So we've got another Contender. Another 0/1 stat line Contender. So she's a blue Contender with 20 health. Okay. Her first ability at 20 health reads, you may start the game with a relic with an initial resource cost of 2 or less in your accessory zone. So it's any relic that costs 2 or less. Okay, so that's important to know. Okay, now there's another card that we will talk about. I guess we already talked about it before, but it's Haven's Backpack, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. Okay, but Haven was really designed to pair very well with Haven's Backpack. Okay, you don't have to, but it is a relic with initial resource cost 2 or less into your accessory zone. Okay, and then her ability continues to read during your turn. Whenever this contender loses health, you may put 1 collection counter on target relic you control. This ability triggers only once per turn. And then her second ability at the start of your turn, choose an opponent. That opponent reveals a card at random from their hand, then puts that card on the bottom of their deck. Okay, so Jim, what do you think about Haven here?
You know, I'm kind of wondering, what do these collection counters do? I mean, it's saying that we get them, but I just don't know what they do. So it's very difficult to say as of right now.
Okay.
I'll joke. We already went over this card.
Yeah. All right. What about that 12?
All right. The 12, choose an opponent. That player reveals a card at random from their hand, then puts that to the bottom of their deck. So to be able to dungeon a card is very strong, and it's actually even better than discarding.
Yeah, it's better than discarding.
Because a lot of times, you know, we looked at the previous card. You're able to play with graveyard recursion.
Right.
So dungeoning a card until we get, like, I don't know, pay X amount of resources to play a card
from the bottom of your deck.
Put in discard if it's equal, play it. We'll never get that.
Yeah, right. But again, the stat line, love the stat line again. 0/1, great.
Yeah, I love it.
But again, this card's specifically designed to go with this next card. We'll just talk about it right now. It's Haven's Backpack. 1 cost with 1 required blue resource. So it is a legendary relic, okay? And then it has 2 abilities. Safeguard, which is this card cannot be the target of card effects or abilities your opponents control. Again, if you're familiar with Magic, it's basically hexproof. And then it also has Unrivaled. So again, this is the only card with Unrivaled you'd be able to run in your deck. All right, and then it says at the start of your turn, put 1 collection counter on target relic you control. Then if this card has 25 or more collection counters, you win the game. So about those collection counters, that's what it is. Alt win con. Okay. Yep. Now, and then it also reads, if this card has 10 or more collection counters, rogue clash cards you control get +0/+1. 20 or more collection counters, rogue clash cards you control get +1/+1. So wow, I love the backpack again. love the artwork, love the theming again. I love the HH. Okay, it's the Heart Heroes again, all into that lore. I absolutely love it. Okay, it's 1 cost. again, I feel like if you're running Haven's backpack, you're running Haven and Haven's backpack. I think right now it's all going to be like one kind of deck, okay? Until we see what the builds are going to be like, right? Yep. But Jim, what do you think about the backpack here?
I love these cards together, man. To get 25 or more collections, then you just win the game. If we're looking at the Haven as well, whenever it loses life, so you can swing into their contender. Oh yeah, that's right. You wouldn't, because the 1 defense. Swing into something else that has 2 attack.
Right.
Lose a life on your turn. Gain the collection token. Go to your opponent's turn. They swing into you. You gain another one. It's not a 25 turn win. It's more like 12, 13 you're looking at.
Yeah.
So it's a lot faster.
Or maybe like 7, 8. Because there's going to be other cards. We know there's going to be other cards that do stuff like that. Yeah. And I can't wait to see those cards either. They're going to be sick. So that's Haven's backpack. Love it paired with Haven, the new contender. And the next card is Apex Swift Fighter, a 4-cost, 2 required blue resource for a 4/3 Apex Clash card. This is a rare card and has the Alpha affiliation, and then has the ability to trigger enter. You may engage target Clash card. Jim, what do you think about this one?
I kind of really like this.
I love this card.
This mid-range card here, or mid cost. Yeah. In the middle of the game, it's going to be possible that you and your opponent are kind of just at like a stalemate of playing stuff, and it's like, who's going to make the first move? This allows you to make the first move without really getting too punished. It also
allows you to make the last move too, right? Because there's times, and I've had times like this where, okay, I can't quite end the game. I can't finish the game yet because my opponent specifically left 2 cards up, right? 2 cards up to defend with. Okay, I swing in to just get him to engage one of them. Okay, and then I have nothing left on board for the other one. Okay. Oh, I top deck Apex Swift Fighter. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
It's nice.
And in testing this card. This card was a finisher in like a lot of aggro and mid-range decks as well.
I'm not surprised.
It's absolutely phenomenal. It's and it's only a rare too, which this card is actually low-key really, really powerful.
It makes sense that they gave him the blue gem and the blue suit and the blue color. It's just all blue.
So, and I think Apex got a redesign in set 2 with the artwork, and I love it. He did have a little bit of yellow in him, but this is all blue, and I love that. Okay, and if I remember correctly, I think this card started as a flyer too.
Yes,
and that was like too powerful. I think.
Part of me was like, why isn't he flying?
Yeah, I think it was, and then I think in testing it was like, this is way too good.
It already seems really good.
It does.
You give it flying, and you're like, I'm gonna take care of 2 of your flyers, actually.
Yeah. So anyway, Apex Swift Fighter, again from the Clashground podcast. Beautiful. Okay, the next card that we have is another Clashground. This one comes to us courtesy of the Realm Gaming Network on YouTube. You can follow them over on Twitter at the Realm Games 1. Again, if you haven't yet, be sure to go check out the Realm. They got a lot of great selection of Alpha Clash, so be sure to go check them out. But Deathstore is a 4-cost black Clashground with 3 required black resources. It's an Outer Space Bardega Clashground. It is an epic rarity card. And it reads, trigger enter. Each contender loses 3 health. Then you may activate the portal. And then it has 2 abilities. The first is if the portal's open, whenever a Clash card you control is defeated or sent to oblivion, target contender you don't control loses 1 health. Whenever a Clash card an opponent controls is defeated or sent to oblivion, your contender gains 1 health. Jim, what's your thoughts on this?
Dude, I love this card so much.
So do I. You know what this card reminds me of? The Meat Hook Massacre for Magic.
Oh, 100%.
That's 100%. Like exactly what this card is. But I think this is actually better. Because ETB lose 3, like that. Yeah. That's really.
I don't even
really
care
strong.
if I lose 3.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Which I mean, Meat Hook Massacre kind of did that already because when at ETBs you could take out a bunch of stuff and then it had those triggers.
Oh yeah,
so it's kind of like that. But I love everything about this card.
I'd play this even if I was at 3 life.
You would.
I would.
I love the design of this.
Oh, yeah,
I love
beautiful.
the artwork. Love everything about this card. Cares about the portal being opened. Now, the only thing that this card cares about the portal being open is whenever a Clash card you control is defeated.
Yes.
Okay. But the second ability, whenever a Clash card opponent controls is defeated, that's always on. So that one's always on. So, yeah, you have any final thoughts about Deathstore here?
This art kind of reminds me of like in Death Note, the Shinigami world had a portal going straight into Earth, which I mean, it kind of did. That's how they dropped the book in there. And it just looks like one of the demons are up on a tree in the background, just looking at everyone.
It's so...
Which makes sense because they are gods of death. And this is death.
It is so great. I love the artwork on this. It is absolutely gorgeous. So anyway, that is Death's Door. All right, the next one we have is Pestilence World Degrader. This comes to us courtesy of @GoatBreakers on Instagram. And so Pestilence World Degrader is a 3-cost, 1 required green resource for a 2/4 Pestilence Clash card. Pestilence, again, is the Harbinger affiliation. This is a rare card and has the ability during your primary phase, whenever a Clash card an opponent controls is defeated, this card gets +1/+1 until end of turn. At the start of your turn, you may activate the portal. Jim, what do you think about Pestilence World Degrader here?
And honestly, this just makes me excited to see more cards for green, because, well, specifically with Pestilence, because I don't think we seen anything else that cares about the portal for Pestilence.
Not yet. I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think we've seen it yet.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to see with more of what it is they're going to be doing, but I also assume you're going to be able to make this guy pretty big and swinging for a lot of damage. So he's just going to be like AoE, kind of weaken everything, make your guys be able to swing in and get rid of stuff. And then he kind of just comes in for a lot of damage.
Yeah.
He's only a 3-cost 2/4. That's a pretty nice body.
What I think, it is. It's crazy. Like, that's exactly what I thought too. I'm like, 2/4 for 3? That just gets bigger? That's really, really good. But again, what I think is going to be really key is the ability to just activate the portal at the start of your turn. I think that's going to be really key to a lot of strategies. And I'm really interested to see what those decks are going
and
to
the value
like.
You're going to accrue if your opponent wants to pay 2 to, or is it 3 to close the portal? 2 to close the portal. Okay, that's 2 resources this turn. Next turn, if they don't want it open, they got to close it again. Go to your turn. It's going to open right back up.
Right.
So draining your opponent out of the resources, exactly what Pestilence wants to do. That is a beautiful ability.
So again, in testing, I was always like, I can pay the 2, but it's like I don't want to pay the 2. Like I want to use this resource for something else.
You don't like stacks.
Oh
you don't like taxes.
Exactly. But yeah, just the ability to just activate it for free is gonna be pretty powerful, I think. So, all right. Well, the next 3 that we have come to us courtesy of @SupahPlayaz on Instagram and YouTube. Again, you can follow him on Instagram @SupahPlayaz, SupahPlayaz. Again, same on YouTube. Again, we'll be sure to link all of those in the description. The first one we're gonna talk about is this basic action. Okay, it's called I Like a Good Challenge. It's a 2-cost, 1 required white resources. It's an uncommon card and reads choose target opponent. If that opponent controls more Clash cards than you, target contender or Clash card you control gets +2/+1 until end of turn. What do you think about this?
I love how Conquest looks.
Yes.
He's just like,
I love the artwork on this.
Bring it on.
It's almost like he's wiping his face, kind of like that. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The 2 damage is nice, and I don't know exactly how it's going to be playing for this deck, but if you're behind, this is just a really nice +2/+1 defense.
Yeah.
I mean, this could allow you to take out some stuff.
Yeah. I like the buff that's giving you. It's I'm interested to see.
Seems meaningful.
It does, and I'm interested to see what kind of decks this is going to go in, right? Because again, you can only play this if that opponent controls more Clash cards than you. Okay. So again, that's we're gonna wait and see. Like, I think I have to wait and see because I know this is gonna have a home. I know this is gonna have a home. I'm interested to see what that home is gonna look like. So that's I like a good challenge. This next one, it's Raging Plasmax, is a 2-cost, 1 required blue resources for a 2/2 Plasmax Clash card. It's an uncommon rarity card. He has the Alpha affiliation, and it's just it's a French vanilla. It's a 2/2 with flight. Jim, what do you think about this?
I love this card.
Yeah, so
do I.
2/2
with upside, which is flight.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. I love it.
I love this. I mean, in set 1, there was a 2-cost 2/1 Magnate card with flying and breakthrough.
Yeah.
Right? So you turned it from a 2/1 into a 2/2 when you were playing Magnate decks.
Yeah.
I like this so much more. I never really cared about the breakthrough.
The breakthrough doesn't matter.
The breakthrough didn't matter because, again, I'm playing cheap, low to the ground cards. And so this
Still play this with Magnate.
Yeah, exactly. This is now a 2/3. This is now a 2/3, right? It's just another flyer that I don't have to worry about New York City, right? So I love this card, and one of my favorite things about this card, I love this artwork. I absolutely love that artwork on that. So yeah, that is Raging Plasmax. The next one is To the Depths. To the Depths is a 2-cost, 2 required black resources for a basic action. This is a common rarity card, and that says send target Clash card with a defense power of 3 or less to Oblivion.
Yep.
Jim, what do you think?
Very basic removal spell. The 3 defense power or less hits a lot of stuff.
It's gonna hit a lot. Yeah, it's gonna hit a lot.
I'm glad it didn't say attack power instead.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of times where just the attack is kind of bigger than the defense, and you need to really be taking that out. So give us the 3 defense power. I like it.
Yeah, and it doesn't say initial defense power either.
Yep.
It just says defense power.
Yep.
So whatever it is in reality at that time. So that is To the Depths. All right, the next one comes to us courtesy of Kyle Petchak. You can follow his artwork on Twitter at K_Petchak_art on Instagram. This is Haven Improvising. Again, love this piece. So Haven Improvising is a 3-cost, 2 required blue resources for a 1/3 Haven Earth Clash card. She is a rogue affiliation and is an uncommon rarity card, and reads, trigger defeat. You may remove 3 collection counters from target relic you control. If you do, target contender gains 3 health. So a 3-drop, a 1/3 for 3 with an interesting effect. What do you think about this, Jim?
Well, it takes us away from the win con.
It does.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It takes you away from the win con, but it keeps you alive.
Yes,
that's the thing. Like with that 20 health, like that's that could be key. That could be key because again, this is I think this is just a defensive body.
Yeah,
and that's the strategy you're going to want to be playing with Haven Biding Time.
Yeah, it's for me personally, I think I would just rather be doing other stuff. But in terms of pure defensive card, if you're blocking a card that is 3 power or more, then so you're saving 3 or 4 life off of that. And then to gain the 3 more HP, you're looking at another 3, maybe even 4 health on top of that. I mean, it's quite a bit. Defensive wise, this is a very powerful card.
Right. And that's kind of it. I think that's really all this is doing for you, right? But again, there might be times where like that's really what you want it to do because, yeah, sure, you're gonna give up those 3 collection counters, but who knows? Maybe next turn you're gonna be able to put like 5 on or whatever. So it may not matter.
Yeah.
So
true.
All right. So that is Haven Improvising. The next 2 we have come to us courtesy of our friend Matt DeMarco. You can follow him on Twitter at WatchFlake. And the first one, it is another contender. It's Conquest, the Indestructible. So Conquest is a 30 health contender. He's a 1/0 stat line. He's a white contender, White Harbinger. And his first ability, his 30 HP ability, reads, Harbinger class cards you control get trigger victory. You may engage your contender. If you do, draw a card. And then during your turn, Conquest clash cards you control get +1/+0. And then the second ability at 10 kicks in 10 or less health, reads once per turn during your primary phase. You may engage target clash card you control. If you do, engage target clash card you don't control. So, Jim, what are your thoughts on Conquest here?
So it's going to make it to where Conquest cards matter with the +1 attack, which is really good. It's what the opposite of Magnate, or being rather than gaining defense. Where
yes, correct.
We want to go big.
Correct.
And
this is specifically during your turn.
Yes. Oh, okay. Right. So, but aside from that, you also have the trigger victory, so your character does have to stay alive.
Correct.
For that to happen.
Correct.
And then to be able to draw cards. So you're going to be plussing off of my character is going to survive and take you out. Then I'm going to engage this to draw a card.
Yep.
I love that.
Yep. So do
Make
I.
your stuff bigger as well, so you're more likely to just be able to take something out. I mean, sure, even if it dies, but at that point, you might have traded a smaller card for a larger card.
Right.
And then this other one is, I'm going to tap one of my smaller cards to engage one of your big cards.
Right.
That's huge.
Right.
This card, I don't know exactly how well it's going to do, but it seems like very basic things you can do with it, but very strong.
Right. I'm interested to see how much that second ability is going to come into play.
Yeah.
I really am. Because I don't know how I feel about it yet. This is another one of those I'm going to wait and see how that ability plays out. Because again, a lot of this stuff with the sizes of these sets, right? It's always for me. I'm like, I want to wait and see how everything pans out. And I like so far, I have not. Again, we're only on set 2, but I have yet to be disappointed with stuff. And I'm really interested to see how all of these cards are going to work together.
I'm disappointed. I need more flare cards, Dan.
I know you do.
Where are all the flare cards?
All right, the next one is Domination. Domination is another clash buff, a 1 cost, 1 required white resources for a common clash buff. Reads, you may only play this if your contender is a white harbinger. So again, so far you can only play this with Conquest. And then it reads, target clash card you control gets +2/+2 until the start of your next turn. Ready that card. It can't attack this turn. What do you think about Domination? What do you think about this?
So it's going to
get +2/+2. You ready it. It readies, but if you play it on your turn,
so you could just
if you play it on your turn,
if
you play it on your turn, you can't attack on that turn. Yes, you could double block. Yes.
Yeah.
So he could block twice. It could block twice on your opponent's turn.
So is Conquest just going to be like the get big type of play style rather than going wide?
Maybe.
Because if he likes a challenge, where your opponent has more cards more cards out on field.
Conquest likes the challenge. It's Conquest.
What did I
say? No. You said Conquest.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I'm more saying like it's Conquest himself, like not minions of his.
Yes.
Like it's Conquest.
Yeah. He is the one out there putting in the work.
He's putting in the work,
which I kind of like.
Yes.
I think it's cool to have like Voltronic.
So there's two ways you can look at Domination, right? It's you could clash buff on your turn, okay, and then you could ready it and then set it up to where it's got +2/+2.
Yeah.
Until like during your opponent's turn, so you could block.
Yes.
Or you utilize it on your opponent's turn, right? So let's say, oh wait, you know what you could do? You know what you actually could do?
Okay.
Wait a second. Okay. You could Domination on your turn.
Yes.
Okay. So you attack with one of your clash cards. Domination gives it +2/+2 and then readies it. Okay. I'm gonna make sure I'm reading this right. Okay. Okay. Target clash card you control gets +2/+2 until the start of your next turn. Ready that card. It can't attack this turn. Okay. So you Domination on your turn. Okay.
Yeah.
And then on your opponent's turn. Okay. So your clash card is ready to go. Okay, It has +2/+2. Your opponent swings in with something he thinks he's going to be able to beat your card that already has +2/+2.
Yeah.
You Domination again, giving it an additional +2/+2. So it engages to obstruct, give an additional +2/+2, readies it, and so now it has +4/+4. Yeah. So you could actually Domination twice until it gets back to you. Because again, with the rules of clash buffs, they can only be the target of one clash buff during that turn.
Yeah. This just makes it for the
this
rest
just
of
makes
the
it
next turn.
Yeah. So you could potentially Domination 2 turns in a row.
Huh.
You could do that, like Like that's something you can do. So you could domination on your turn and then use another card. You could use another clash buff on the next turn, whether it's domination or another clash buff.
And do some of the other clash buffs only last for that battle, or is it the full turn?
Correct. Some clash buffs will stay until the end of the turn. Some clash buffs will stay until the end of the clash.
Yeah.
And this one specifically says until the start of your next turn.
Right.
So, and again, that's why I'm loving seeing more clash buffs, like getting more and more and more options.
And it's different than just I'm going to play this game +2/+2 and draw a card.
And this clash buff specifically says you can only target a clash card you control.
Oh,
some of those other clash buffs, it was target clash card or contender, which isn't, that's another thing as well.
Yeah. Huh.
So, yeah.
I like to see more with this.
So same.
Like to.
I'm loving the design, right? Where we're going with the design. So so that is Domination. Okay, the last one that we have is another legendary. It's War, the Second Horseman. This one comes to us courtesy
of... What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
This one isn't.
This one comes to us courtesy of Patrick Brown. You can follow him on Instagram at Patrick Brown Art. So War the Second Horseman is a 4-cost, 3 required red resources for a 4/4 legendary clash card. It's War from Bardega and has a Harbinger affiliation. So War the Second Horseman is unrivaled and has 2 abilities. His trigger enter, deal 3 damage to target contender or clash card. And then trigger attack. Target defending player may send a clash card they control to oblivion. If they don't, deal 2 damage to that player's contender. Shim's over here laughing. Wait, what?
Dude, this card is so value all day.
It is 100%.
I love this thing.
Yeah, so it's lightning bolt on a stick. Number 1.
A stick.
Number 2, that trigger attack. Oh man.
Then it's on attack. You sacrifice something or get shocked.
So if they have an open board, ETB trigger enter, deal 3, trigger attack, deal 2, and then come in for 4.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I
love this guy. I don't care that he's unrivaled. It's gonna just be when I see this guy, he's being played in it. It's not like I need to find this card in order to just like clear the board or win the game. This is just if I find it, you're just really
Jim.
What?
You know what I just realized?
Oh no.
What's the cost on this?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Grand Park, Chicago?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, dude.
So wait, Grant Park costs 3, right?
Dude, you tempo.
Oh my goodness. You could tempo this out. So, oh man. Now again, this is 3 red. 3 red. I mean, I might just be splashing white just for...
Is Grant Park 1 or 2?
I believe it's 2 white.
Okay, so then you can't tempo this. Unless we get red-white dual cards. Come on, dude. Make it happen.
That's oh man! I just realized you could tutor this with Grant Park. Holy
now I'm like, all right, let's go back and look at every other cost of the card that we were like, oh, this card's amazing. What's the cost of the unrivaled clarity? Do you remember?
Unrivaled clarity?
I don't remember. I think it might be 6.
Yeah, I think she's
it's 6
because that's one of the first things I'm pretty sure that was one of the first things I looked at when I saw
it. Holy cow! This is sick.
Yeah, I love everything about this card.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the legendaries of the set. Yeah. The artwork is on the box. I love the artwork on this.
You know what I love about this?
Another beautiful piece by Patrick Brown. Beautiful piece, Patrick.
So this guy is obviously a historical warrior Spartan-esque look, right?
Yeah, it's Gerard Butler. I mean,
exactly, with a mohawk.
Yeah, with a mohawk.
And then you look at this other guy who is a modern day warrior.
Yeah.
Right, and he's like,
I'm dead.
No.
We know. He's like, OF is basically what he's saying to himself. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, that's a warrior right there.
Yep, 100%. So, yeah, so that is War the Second Horseman.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely love that piece. So,
Awesome.
all right, with that, we're going to kick it to you guys. What do you guys think of this past week's spoilers? Let us know down below. Let us know which one you are most looking forward to. Now, Jim, after seeing War, okay, after looking at all of those, if you had to pick one, that's the one we just looked at, War.
Yeah.
Of all of these that we just talked about, which one are you kind of most stoked for? If you had to pick,
I mean, once you said look at the cost.
Once I said look at the cost.
And I absolutely just love this card. But you know what else I was just realizing?
Yeah.
We have War the Second Horseman. Who else are the other 4 horsemen? We have Famine.
Which is like Pestilence.
Yeah, okay. I thought Pestilence was also on there, but Famine and Pestilence are the same.
I don't know.
Considered the same thing.
I again, in this lore, I think we're kind of, because you've got Death.
Oh,
we have Death.
Yeah.
You have War, Conquest, and Pestilence.
Oh, okay. Those are the 4.
I think those are the 4.
Sick.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it until I saw War the Second Horseman.
The Second Horseman, like,
yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah, there's
so we got
4.
we got the 4. Basically, we got the 4 horsemen of the of the apocalypse.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of like the harbingers.
Yeah.
That's again, I'm really loving the lore. I'm loving digging into this book. And guys, for the I'm gonna do a video all about the book. Okay, that Kickstarter's coming September 19th, so a little more than a week. So be sure to check that out. But yeah, so if you had to pick one, which one you picking? Pick one.
I gotta go with War.
You gotta go with the War.
I gotta go War. But Haven's also sick.
Haven is sick. Yeah.
Pestilence, cool. I like them all, man.
I know,
Death's
dude. I really
awesome.
do. Yeah. I don't know. If I had to pick one, I'd probably go Haven.
Yeah.
Just Haven. And I'm loving all these new contenders. I cannot wait to see what decks people are going to be able to come up with these new contenders. So,
I can't wait to see all the value someone gets off of Death.
Oh,
you're like, oh, I'm going to kill your stuff. And you're like, okay, I'm a plus.
Gonna go find it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, if somebody comes, if somebody uses Here Comes the Boom, oh, all right, fine. It's gone. I will go find another one. Oh, no.
Because if you deal burn damage to it, it still counts as defeated and it's not sent to oblivion.
That is defeated. Yep.
I love it.
Yep. 100%. 100%. So with that, we're going to kick to you guys. Let us know which one of these cards you are most excited for. Which one is your favorite from last week? And again, don't forget, if you guys like this type of content, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those bell notifications so you can be notified when we release more Alpha Clash content. Yes. So yeah, that's all we got for you this week. Stay tuned. In the following week, we're going to go over this upcoming week's spoilers so we can recap everything for you guys. But again, don't forget, follow all of these accounts. That way, if they spoil some new stuff, which I know some of them are going to, you can catch it for yourself right when they spoil it. So thanks everybody for hanging out with us today. We will catch you in the next Alpha Clash video. See you, everybody.
Take care.